In August 1990, the quiet town of Gainesville, Florida, was shaken by a series of brutal murders that left the community in shock. In just 4 days, 5 college students were found dead in horrific ways. Danny Rolling, later known as the Gainesville Ripper, was a man with a troubled past. Rolling had a difficult childhood, marked by physical and emotional abuse from his father. This led him to a life of crime, culminating in the horrific murders that terrorized Gainesville. Rolling attacked his victims at night, breaking into their homes. His actions were meticulously planned. He would cut the power to the houses and, in some cases, hide inside the victims' homes, waiting for the right moment to strike. His methods were incredibly violent and included strangulation, stabbing, and post-mortem mutilation. Authorities in Gainesville worked tirelessly to catch the killer, but the lack of concrete evidence made progress difficult. Meanwhile, the town was in a constant state of panic. Students slept in groups for protection, and many people left the town, fearing they would be the next victims. During this period of terror, Kevin Williamson, an unknown screenwriter, was house-sitting for a friend. One night, he watched a TV special about the Gainesville murders. The story terrified him deeply. After watching the special, Williamson became nervous and started hearing noises in the house. With a butcher knife in one hand and a phone in the other, he decided to inspect the house. During the call to the house owner, they began talking about horror movies, testing their knowledge and discussing the elements that make a good horror film. It was in this moment of fear and tension that the idea for Scream started to form in Williamson's mind. He envisioned a movie where real-life terror blended with fiction, creating a killer who played mind games with his victims before killing them. This innovative concept of meta-horror and self-referential storytelling would become the hallmark of Scream. When Scream premiered in 1996, it not only revitalized the slasher horror genre but also became a cultural phenomenon. The blend of horror and humor, along with an intelligent and manipulative killer, captivated audiences instantly. The film spawned several sequels, each exploring new aspects of terror while maintaining the formula that made the original a hit. Meanwhile, Danny Rolling was captured in September 1990. The police found evidence linking Rolling to the murders, including audio recordings where he confessed to his crimes. At his trial, Rolling admitted to being responsible for the Gainesville murders and was sentenced to death. He was executed in 2006, but his legacy of terror continues to haunt the memory of the victims and the Gainesville community. The story of Scream reminds us of the thin line between reality and fiction. While we watch horror films to feel fear and adrenaline, it's important to remember that sometimes these fears have roots in real, tragic events. The Scream franchise not only entertains us, but also makes us reflect on the nature of fear and how it can be used to create powerful stories.